welcome to Real Horror. This is a stream where we discuss the horror movie of the week. And tonight we're actually discussing two movies. The Thing, the 2011, which is a prequel to the 1982 The Thing. So I'm really looking forward to this stream. And I just want to thank my panelists for being here. Tommy, my wingman, how's it going tonight?
It's going pretty good. Wait a minute. We were supposed to watch The Thing. I thought we were supposed to watch The Think. The Think. I watched the wrong movies.
What the hell is The Think?
Something that YouTube and these claimants should be doing. They should be thinking.
They should be.
Do they not see the toad is in his pig's mouth? They are in danger.
As long as you didn't watch the wrong Think.
I'm glad you said that's a toe. Damn.
All right. And Draven, how's it going tonight?
It's going good. I'm looking forward to talking about these. I had never seen the prequel / remake thing and never seen all of the original all the way through. So.
Oh, wow. All right. Awesome.
This was fun.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks for being here.
Mm-hmm.
And Vinny, how's it going tonight?
That's going all right, I guess. This was Trina's face when she had to watch the 2011 movie.
Pretty much.
She's like, I got dynamite. I'm going to light it right now.
She put on the 2011 movie and was sitting there looking at her husband going,
I'm the messenger of God. You're doomed if you stay here.
And I gotta say, I'm a little bit in the same boat with Draven. I seen parts of the original when I was a kid, and it's not a movie that I fully remembered.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple years ago, I saw it again, and I was like, this thing is an absolute masterpiece. But I also saw the 2011 around the same time, so I wasn't married to the original movie from the get-go, like as a kid. Because again, as a kid, you're not fully understanding everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because it came out in '82, so I mean, like I said, I was super young when I first saw it. Because again, our big families, they don't give a shit. They're not looking at, oh, this is rated R, kids can't watch it. They didn't give a shit. You pop it on, right?
Yep.
But that's how I got into like a lot of horror and stuff, which is pretty cool. But again, watching it as an adult, this is one of my favorite movies. A masterpiece.
Mm-hmm.
John Carpenter, I think he hit a home run with this thing. And I do think that the prequel complemented it in a big way, and gave you a lot of like awesome stuff that directly connects to it. So that's why I had no problem with it. There's no purist versus new watcher, whatever. It's just I looked at it story wise, and I thought it was great, both of them. But yeah, absolutely, the 1982 movie, that's your epic masterpiece right there. So happy to be here to talk about all this.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you guys for being here.
You're a real good bundle of sticks. What do you mean you don't talk about no purists on this panel? I'm a purist all the way, buddy. Let me tell you what. And it's a conspiracy to say otherwise.
I lean that way too about certain stuff. I definitely lean purist, but yeah, we'll definitely get into how these movies line up because
and don't get me wrong, because I'm like that with certain things too, like the Resident Evil franchise. I think those movies were a mess. The games were that's where my purist sensibility comes from. That's why I fell in love with the remakes, because they're like a movie. But yeah, when you change things in such massive ways, that drives me insane. But I didn't feel like that happened in this case.
Yeah, I agree. And real quick, I just want to say hi to the fine folks in the chat. Draven was the first in the chat. And we got Soul Assassin. And, the Beast. Awesome to see you. Thanks for being here.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Oh, Lion Ratton. Good to see you.
What's up, brother?
Adega.
Hell yeah.
Let's see. Yes, Adega, I gave you a wrench. So get to work. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Yeah, so thank you guys for being here, and anybody that watches on the replay, thank you as well. I really appreciate it. So yeah, let's dive into the review. We're going to start with The Thing 2011 because it's actually a prequel to 1982. Normally I wouldn't do that. Like if there was a movie and then a remake, the original would definitely come first. But yeah, we'll do the prequel first. And I have to thank Vinny for this because I wouldn't have watched this movie if he didn't say that this is actually a prequel. Because when I first sat down to watch it the very first time, I didn't know it was a prequel. I thought it was a remake. And I'm watching it and I was like, this is nothing like The Thing. What is going on? So, yeah, it wasn't until just last week that Vinny brought this up as a prequel. So I was like, okay, I'm going to give it a shot. So, yeah.
And I heard the same exact thing, to be honest. Same exact thing. Cool. I watched the thing, and then I'm like, what the heck? They did a remake? And a friend of mine went, no, it's not a remake. It's a prequel. I said, really? Yeah. He goes, yeah, you see kind of how things laid out. And I'm like, all right. I gave it a shot, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, we were in the middle of lockdowns and shit, so I'm like, yeah, I guess, why not? And I thought I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. The actress, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, I like her anyway. Sometimes she has like that kind of I don't want to say resting bitch face, but she's got a quality about her. Either you like her in a movie or you just dislike her in a movie, and like the things that I've seen her in. But in this one, I was okay with her in it. I like this one, and the one she did on Netflix kind of recently was good too. But yeah, no. From the approach of this, like I didn't know what to expect either. Because we know in the original, you see like the ship, you see like outer space, and you see like the ship kind of coming to Earth, and then it's just the way that it starts. You know, you're kind of like, wait, what am I watching at first? But the way that it unfolds is excellent. With this one, they give you more of kind of what happened. And again, like you see like these guys in one of these kind of what would you call that vehicle they were in?
Snowcats.
Oh, okay, yeah, the Snowcats, and like they're just kind of like a Norwegian or Swedish or something, and they're they're having like their conversation, breaking each other's balls type of thing too, and they stumble upon, I guess, where this ship actually is, and from there it leads into them actually finding the block of ice that you see in the original movie. When Kurt Russell goes to the outpost, when they try to find out like where that dog came from. So yeah, again, that's why I loved it, because they recreated the sets. Everything was perfect on that level. And we got to kind of see it in, one of its true forms. I mean, albeit it was blurred, but just how they built it up, how creepy and scary this thing is, and how powerful it truly is.
Yes.
There is one thing to mention.
What's that?
It's not, the 1982 is not the original.
Right.
That's right.
Well, we're talking.
I just want to mention that real quick because it wasn't something we were going to go into great detail talking about. But I do want to mention that the 1982 Thing with John Carpenter directing, and of course with Kurt Russell in it, is actually a remake of an older movie from, I think it was 1941, called The Thing from Another World.
Yes.
They took the exact elements of the story. They found the spaceship. They find the creature away from the spaceship, frozen in ice, and they bring it back, and it thaws out, and it starts attacking them. But the thing I do like about that is they actually get into the DNA of the creature a little bit more in the original one.
Yes.
Where they actually talk about how it's plant-based. How it's more of a plant than it is like a flesh and blood creature. That explains.
I knew it.
Well, that explains why it's got such a heavy aversion to fire, and why cold doesn't really bother. Because think about it, almost every plant you could freeze it, and once it thaws out in the summertime again, it comes right back to life.
Right. So what Tommy was saying is, vegans are aliens.
Yep.
So
vegans are aliens confirmed. Yeah.
The only way to take care of it is with a flamethrower.
Right. Well, all right. So anytime I do refer to the original, it's the original John Carpenter's original. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. No. It's a good point though, Tommy. Because I did watch part. I watched the end of that. I was kind of curious as well. I wasn't going to sit through the whole thing because I really didn't have the time. But I jumped a little bit. I kind of wanted to see what it was about, and yeah, they had a similar type ending as well ish. Well, not John Carpenter's ending, but like when you. Anyway, we'll get there when we get there. With this thing though, they discover the ship. They discover this thing in ice, and they're looking for help to kind of figure out what it is and how to extract DNA. And they don't know this thing is alive. So so it's an outpost that's near the one with Kurt Russell and all that. It's they're miles away, but it's pretty much it's the same area, except that outpost is closer to where the ship is and where they discovered this thing, which apparently got out of the ship and then kind of like collapsed into the snow, and then over time and all that crap, it got caught in this ice. So this group of people, they take the block of ice back, and they're trying to kind of figure out how to extract this DNA, and they just basically use like a drill, and they get into it, and they do take a piece of this thing, and I'm fast forwarding a bit because it's not as interesting and as awesome as the '82 movie, but the elements are there that work anyway. So but again, the actors that they picked, there were some pretty good ones in there. Recognizable people as well. I like the guy from Game of Thrones.
I like him.
Yeah, the one with the red hair and the red beard. Was it Thorman?
Yeah, I forget his name.
Tormund.
Yeah.
Yes, Tormund. Yeah.
Tormund? Yeah,
Tormund, yeah.
Yeah, that guy was awesome. And in this movie too, I mean, like, he's having fun. Like, you could see he's a good actor, and you want to see more of him when he is on screen. But just the horrific stuff that happens. I'll say it is on the same level. The how screwed up it is when these people do get the thing does start to absorb them and then mimic them, and the grotesqueness of it all is it's fantastic. Although the helicopter scene, I thought that was poorly done. There's one of the guys there when he transforms. But so we do have some elements in there that are interesting, where they're kind of partying and having a good time at night, and one of them goes to take a look at the ice. They want to double check or they heard something. They go in there and nothing's there. One guy gets a jump scare from another guy, and he's like, "You idiot! Like, that thing's dead." So he goes to leave, and the black dude who got startled, he's about to walk out of that room as well, where the block of ice is, and the thing just busts out of it and straight up through the roof, leaves that massive hole again that you see in the '82 movie. And this thing is running around. That guy runs into the room. He tells everybody this thing escaped. They're like, "You're crazy," whatever. They don't believe him, and they go to take a look, and he's gone. He goes, "It just busted out of the ice," and it's pretty cool. It's menacing. The way that they did it was they did it like a blur. Like, they don't want to show you completely what this is and what it looks like.
Yeah.
Which is good. I'm happy they didn't do that, because that could have been a major fail too at some point. But then who was the first one? Because they were like signs of that was messed up, and I'm happy that they did do this. Because I always said that
was my favorite thing. I just thought it was neat because it kind of shows how it mimics other people and it like absorbs them into them.
Yeah, and boy was it disturbing. When I saw that in the original movie, I'm like, oh my god, how the hell did that happen? And we got to see it, so I was happy about that. Yeah. Which, like, again, it worked. It was cool. It was creepy. But you could tell there was some what was the American pilot who they were gonna take somebody out of there. Someone got injured, didn't they? I can't remember fully.
Yeah. So, well, in the beginning of the '82 movie, someone was shot by one of the Norwegians by accident. So let me think.
Well, yeah. With the prequel one, there was a reason that like one of them wanted to get out of there. Something happened, and I can't remember fully what happened to him.
Yeah. Okay, I'm looking at my notes.
Yeah, usually I'm pretty good with that, but because the thing is, like that Mary Elizabeth chick, she found little metal fillings in the sink. She you know, little pieces of metal. What the hell is this? Like, she didn't understand what was going on. And one of the guys she was talking to, he was like kind of eager to get the hell out of there. And they did a good like bait and switch with it, because you think it's one guy who looks pretty sick, but it's not. It's not him. And she opens up the shower curtain because she saw some blood on the floor. She was washing her face in the sink. She's like, "What's going on here?" She opens it up, and there's a massive amount of blood that's in the shower. So she runs out there, and she's like, "Something's up," and she's kind of waving down the helicopter pilot to come back. And so it's the helicopter pilot, the black dude who saw the thing pop out and go through the ceiling, the dude who feels sick, and another guy. And it was the other guy who was like, "Everything's calm, everything's clear, don't worry." Like, the one who's sick is looking at him like, "What's going on?" And all of a sudden his face kind of like splits open, and like the tendrils and stuff start to come out, and they go to grab him, and he's freaking out. And then you just see from the outside, where the Kate chick, she's looking at the helicopter, someone else is beside her, and it just starts going out of control and goes past the mountain and then lands, and you just see like smoke and a kind of explosion the way that it landed. What else happened from that point? Because that's the thing, like I have 82 in my head fresh, not that one. And I did see it. I just 82
okay.
kind of.
Okay, so we're at the place where the two Americans, Carter and Derek, crashed the helicopter.
Mm-hmm.
This here.
Yeah, that's the scene.
Okay.
Like, I wish that was like, the face is awful, but the chest looked great.
They should have, like, from what somebody was telling me, they did practical effects of it, and then the studio like got involved, and then they switched to CG.
Yeah.
They should have just stuck with practical. I think it would have been a little bit better.
I agree. I wish they did that
or at least mixed elements, like
exactly
like they did with Vecna and like Stranger Things.
Yep, that's the way to do it. I think the Wolfman movie was the first one to really do it the proper way, where it was practical with CGI.
Mm-hmm.
But
so around that time where the crew goes to leave on the helicopter, Kate is explaining how she thinks that the alien works, and she thinks that it attacks its prey and copies it perfectly and then hides inside it waiting. And
because of the cells. Yeah, they were studying the cells from the piece that they got from them when they drilled into it.
Yep. And so she's telling the guys her theory and stuff, and she said that it's best to treat it like a virus, and she said, and how would we treat a virus? We would quarantine and kill it. So they decide to take blood samples of everybody, very similar to how they did it in the 1982 version. And at this point, it's really plain to see that people aren't trusting each other, especially after she says that it could be any of them. The way it hides inside people. So nobody's trusting anybody. And
for a second, what was the first one that they grabbed? Because I remember when they did their first autopsy, and they got that metal piece out.
Okay, so the first autopsy. Okay.
Did they drill into the thing and get that little sample or whatever?
Well, they got the sample, but something else happened, because one of the people they had killed something, and then they brought it in, and then when they opened it up, he had like that metal piece that was in like someone injured their arm or their leg or something, and they had a piece of metal that connected it. And like the thing, it can't absorb metals. It can only absorb and mimic organic material.
Yeah, I think that are you wondering who the metal piece belonged to?
Yeah, and like who was that first body that it grabbed? Was it that guy? Was it? I'm sorry.
I think it was. His name was Henrik.
Okay.
Yeah, I think because inside the alien. Okay, so the first autopsy they're doing, Henrik is inside the alien, like in this amniotic sac.
Mm-hmm.
And and so they're looking around and they notice that titanium plate is outside of the sac, and that's when Kate starts like kind of her brain starts working, and she's thinking it must only be able to replicate organic material.
Mm-hmm. She also was like, "This is awfully fresh too for something that."
Yep. And
because it wasn't Heinrich. It was it replicating Heinrich or whatever.
Right. Well, Heinrich was inside the alien's amniotic sac.
Yeah.
Oh, whatever the heck. Yeah. Well, that's what they called it, but whatever the heck that was, like.
Yeah.
And it had like veins from the alien, like starting to like, you could see that it was being absorbed.
Right.
Yeah. So that was Henrik or Heinrich, however you say his name. That was him with the metal plate.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's when Kate, she's starting to piece it together that the alien can only replicate organic matter, because shortly after that we see her find fillings in the bathroom, and then that leads her to say, like, well, actually we see Griggs.
Okay, wait.
Transform inside the helicopter.
Yeah, you were right. Yeah, I missed that whole part because after it breaks out of the ceiling, it does grab one of them because it's still like in that bug form.
Yeah.
It's sort of bug form-ish. And then when they burn it, and right away they put the fire out and they take the body in. Yeah, because that's the one part we missed. When I was telling before, because I completely forgot. Because again, they had some scenes that mimicked a little bit of the '82 movie, but again, it was totally different. Because again, not a remake; it's a prequel. But yeah, you're right. When they cut it open, that's when they find that the guy that's kind of in the sack. And they go, "What the hell? What's going on here? What was it doing?" And you're right. They start to see that it was copying him.
Yeah, it was copying poor Heine Lick.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and then like right after that, Kate finds the fillings in the bathroom, and that's when she pieces it together that it must only replicate organic matter, and then she tries to like flag down the helicopter, and like as they decide, okay, let's land it, Griggs transforms inside the helicopter. Let's see. Yeah, and then inside the camp, they can't reach anyone on the radio, just like the 1982 version. So comms are down, and then Katie goes back and checks in the bathroom, and that's when it's cleaned up, and she's suspecting that, okay, so it's one of us now. Like, now you can't. Now you don't know who it is. It could be any of us.
Yeah, it cleaned up the mess. So she goes, now something's definitely up. This thing is very smart.
I want to say something about this movie though, and I'm pretty sure that most people probably overlook it. And I know we talk about a lot of this garbage that winds up infecting a lot of different movies and franchises. Did anybody else notice how it was infecting this one just a little bit?
Yeah.
She was absolutely perfect. Everything she said was going to be absolutely spot on and perfect every time. She was giving orders to everybody. And at one point, they even say she's in charge.
Yeah, I did notice that.
Yeah. They did it at one point because of her being right about, what the fuck happened, basically. Because the one guy was over the top. He wanted to get his Nobel Prize for discovering this thing, and he was hell-bent on it. And like it was her and someone else who said like, we we shouldn't. We should get rid of it or whatever. But then they got the blonde hair, like he pussied down, and he was like, "Yeah, I don't know, I didn't see anything." Like,
yeah, that was Adam. He was like, "I don't know what I saw."
Yeah, I don't like that actor. He bothered me. He bothered me a lot.
Tree Rock Creations has a very interesting tidbit. He says that the artist's work from The Thing 2011. They were upset that their animatronics were mostly replaced by CGI. That's not what they had planned. Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, I agree with them. Definitely.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you, for the 2011 movie, there was only one character I was rooting for, and that was Sven. That was it. That guy had it going on with the flamethrower. I liked him. All the rest of them could have all sunk into a puddle of mud for all I cared about.
Yeah, they were not likable characters.
He's the one that made it to the 82 movie, that character, right?
Okay, let me think.
He was a quiet one, right? He didn't know English?
Yeah, he didn't know English. He only spoke Norwegian.
Yeah, that guy was awesome. Because when he disappeared, I was like, what the hell happened to? Like, I was upset too. And then you see him at the end, and like, all right, they got the best character to connect the movies. But that was some good stuff. So the Thing starts to put is playing them too, because the other female that was there, the other like researcher person, whatever, she started like kind of leading Kate towards somebody else. Like I think that person's acting really strange. It could be in them. And as she's like, kind of, she turned her back to her. Then that chick, you could see her like just transforming and morphing, and that the Thing was in her, and it was ready to kill Kate and absorb her. And she kind of gets away, but as she does, and she runs into the other room, they're freaking out, and she's like screaming, like, we need help over here. And it's behind the door. It got one of the other guys, and it started feeding on him. And they open up the door, and they got the flamethrower. Like, they turn and see that it's that one chick, and her chest is all open, and like her head's like all cracked back, and it's really grotesque the way that they did it. And it was like feeding on the dude, and they set it on fire, or tried to.
Yeah, that's the thing that turns into the thing that was chasing that I had in the GIF.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, that was the Juliet thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many did it kill? Do we remember?
Okay, so it killed Carl. Well, it was devouring Carl. I think. Oh, let me think. Yeah, Juliet as the Thing, like the Juliet thing, whatever. She only devoured Carl.
Okay.
Yeah, and then they set her on fire. She chased people, like she was chasing through, but let me think.
No, I think that was it. And then Sven lit it up.
Yeah, okay. That's how I remember it as well.
So there's this.
Yeah.
And then she gets caught, and then I think she goes after whoever is there, and then she gets lit up or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. That on the ground is Carl.
Yep.
Yeah. Poor Carl.
That is the worst OnlyFans Photoshop I've ever seen. By the way.
That's what happens when. Never mind.
Soul Assassin says the channel Studio ADI released footage of the practical effects on their channel. Oh. Awesome! I'll have to take a look at that. I really want to see that. Thanks for dropping that tidbit there.
Yeah. Yeah, Soul Assassin has got some good info on that stuff too.
Yeah. And so Juliet's gone now, and now let's see. Yeah, then she explains it to the guys that it attacks its brain, copies it, and hides inside him, and it could be any of them. And yeah, that's when she says it's like a virus, so let's treat it like a virus, quarantine and kill it. And that's when she comes up with a plan to take blood samples. So, and they also decide to disable all the snow cats so nobody can leave.
Yeah. Oh, and no, the first thing that they did, they didn't do the blood. They did they were checking for the fillings.
Yeah, though.
In each other's mouths. Yeah.
Right. They didn't get there yet.
Speaking of snow, there goes
hey, Snow Dub.
Phoenix for this movie ever.
Sup, Snow Dub? Thanks for stopping by. And yeah, I agree. This is the greatest movie.
It is.
No kidding. He says 2 weeks ago he met the cast and John Carpenter. Dude.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Sweet. What show is that?
Yeah, where was that? If you want to pop on, let me know. I'll have a link sent to you. So yeah, no, at that point they're not doing the fillings. They're not like checking for fillings. They're just discussing like taking the blood samples like as a way to test people.
Okay.
And that's and then okay, so
I thought the fillings were first.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, the fillings are first. They first check for fillings. And then after that, that's when they decide to do the blood tests.
Because they started lining up the people. Because like they checked the ones who had the fillings, and the ones who didn't, or one guy didn't want to be tested at all.
No, blood test came first. It's right here in my notes.
Okay.
Yeah, so they decided to set up the lab for the blood tests, and then after that, when they have all the blood samples, someone ended up burning down the science lab. So that is that becomes a dead end. Okay. So they try to figure out who sabotaged the lab. And Katie says that another way they can tell who's human is by seeing if anyone has metal fillings, like anything like that. Mm-hmm. So then they start checking for fillings, and so they eliminate they group them into people with fillings and people without, mm-hmm. or people with,
or who refuse to be checked.
Yeah. And what I thought was interesting was that nobody checked Kate's mouth.
Oh no, they did.
Oh, did they? I don't remember them doing that.
Oh yeah, I checked it right before I filled it. Oh
I don't have my Batman icon up. I would have.
No problem, Snow Dub. We understand. It is what it is. And he said it was at Dallas Fright Fest.
Awesome.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, definitely. Check Snow Dub out. He's awesome with puppets. So yeah, no problem, Snow. Thanks for stopping by. It's awesome. Oh yeah, did you meet Kurt Russell?
I'm curious because I know he doesn't do too many things. Anyway,
there's a video game sequel to that takes place after the 82 movie.
And
and a comic book from who told us that? It was on my stream, I think. But it was pretty cool because they ended up getting separated. So they had the two groups. You had the guy who wanted to win his Nobel Prize. You had one of the guys who works with him who refused to get tested, and you have that guy Adam who goes, "Oh, great! So I'm going to die because I floss and I brush my teeth." So it's those three idiots, and then the other ones because you start hearing screaming like or something's running around and someone's being attacked or they're looking for somebody else. So they split up.
Yep. And meanwhile, the two American guys, Carter and Derek, the guys that crashed the helicopter and then showed back up, they wanted to burn them. And they were like, no, we can like, set them aside and just watch them instead. Well, right after the fillings thing, they go to check on the Americans and they're gone.
Mm-hmm. I know they pulled the mob line out and they put them in the bathroom. Nobody knows that movie.
I might. What movie is it?
That's why I'm hoping somebody can tell me. I don't remember. I can't remember if that's Bronx Tale or if that's Goodfellas. Because there's one scene where they're like, put him in the bathroom, and that's what it felt like they wanted to do with the American guys. Because like, there's no way that they could have survived a helicopter crash like
it might
that.
It might have been Bronx Tale. I watched Goodfellas.
I think it might have been Bronx Tale. But you know what? That is wrong though. There is a way for somebody to survive that crash like that. If they jump out before it hits the ground, they're hitting snow. It's not like they're hitting like hard ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
But when they showed up, wasn't something else had happened while they showed up? Because then things got out of hand very quickly. The thing showed itself and.
Not at that point. At that point, they just wanted to kill them, and Kato was like, "Well, no, we can just lock them up instead."
Okay.
And then that cuts to. After that, it go like things happen fast in this movie. Mm-hmm. So right after that, is when we find out that someone burned the science lab. So this like happens like boom, boom, boom. There's like no, like there's a lot that happens.
Yeah, there's no like breathing room in between a lot of the stuff in this one.
You know what you really needed in this movie? You needed a Ferris Bueller moment where he just pops up and say, things move pretty quick. If you don't stop to watch what's going on, you may miss something.
Yeah, because it's once pacing was really there, but the thing it was more mysterious. There's a reason why like that or the 82 one was like such a masterpiece of a movie.
Yeah.
You know, but like I said, for this one, I wasn't looking for the same exact movie. I didn't want the same movie. Right. I like that we got to see what happened because we know it was seriously screwed up. Because when Kurt Russell's character goes and he sees that outpost, like you see things are blown up were put on fire. They found the body of that thing with the double head. You know. So that's why I thought like it complemented it. It wasn't
even the video of the cell like replicating like even that is in the old one.
Yeah,
which was good.
Hey, Blue Samurai, thanks for stopping by.
What's up, Blue?
He's lurking and working.
Nice.
Well, he's packing for a trip, but
no, I guess that's better than lurking and twerking.
Oh God.
So okay, so after they do the whole fillings thing, Jones and Lars go out to check on the Americans, but they're gone. And then Jonas is standing there and he sees Lars gets grabbed.
Well, hold on a sec. When the Americans the ones from the helicopter, when they showed up, they were all having like a fight. They were yelling, and the dude had on what was his name? He's the other guy with the beard, not the one from Game of Thrones. He put on the backpack with the torch, the flamethrower thing, and they were all yelling. And the guy who was the thing, we didn't know yet. One of the three that they refused. Well, he refused to be checked. He didn't want his mouth being checked for the fillings. He's screaming. I think it was Lars. Was it Lars? He started yelling at him to shoot the Americans, or to burn the Americans. And the black guy pulls the gun and he shoots him in the head, and it goes through his head and it hits the tank, the flamethrower tank, because he collapses right away. And then everyone's like, "Get the hell away!" because he's about to go, and he does. It explodes. The flamethrower.
What up, Optic?
What's up? And then the dick who was yelling for them to be, burn them, whatever. He got kind of knocked out from the blast, and then they were going to bring him all into another room. And as they do, that's when the dick who was knocked out there, his hand just comes off because it's like they have it around, it's around one guy's neck, and it just comes off and it's crawling off almost like a kind of like a spider like thing, and and it crawls all over them, and it goes into the face of the dude from Game of Thrones, Tormund, yeah, which is messed up. I'm like, no, I didn't.
Because he's like freaking out because it's crawling all over him. It like attaches to his mouth and whatnot.
That was disturbing. And then
and the way he's like just slowly just cognitively aware that this thing is just killing him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that was probably the creepiest part in the whole movie.
Yeah, that was
okay. So yeah. Okay, so yeah, all that happens, but we have a sequence problem here. So Jonas and Lars goes out to check on the Americans that are being held. They see that they're gone. Lars gets grabbed. Jonas comes back and says that the Americans got Lars. We don't actually see that happen, but that's what he thinks. Then there's a fight, and one of the Norwegians gets shot. His canister leaks and causes an explosion. Then next thing you see is they're all in the rec room, discussing things again. They seem to like to go in the rec room a lot. That's when
the hand comes off. I think both arms came off, if I remember correctly. One goes on Tormund. I forgot where the other one went. And then the body itself was it started mutating and changing more too.
Yeah, and that's the one it combines with the
with Adam.
Yeah,
it starts to stab him in the chest, and then it crawls at him as he's on the floor, not able to move.
Mm-hmm.
And
their faces touch and it melts.
It goes cheek to cheek.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, Optic Racer? Thanks for stopping by.
What's up?
Oh, and Blue, it is and it isn't. That's the way I always look at it. I do feel like the 82 version is 10 times different than the original, but they hold all the original movie plots from that first movie when they do this one. Because it's basically the same. Alien in the ice, spaceship. Mm-hmm. The alien starts killing people, and they blowtorch the damn thing to death.
Yeah. The John Carpenter one is such a horrific take on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just this Martian man who's just kind of walking around like Frankenstein.
Well, I don't know if you noticed something else about this. When he did this version of it, did you notice that there was a bit of a takeaway? Because he apparently had planned doing this one for a while. Did you notice that the end scene in the thing from Another World kind of ends almost the same way that Halloween 2 does? Michael Myers is on fire, walking and collapses. The thing from Another World is on fire, walking.
Oh, yeah. They kind of like electrocuted.
Yeah. That's cool.
Pretty neat.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, we got the part where his arms breaks off. They're trying to...
She grabbed the flamethrower and she goes to get... I think she got the hands kind of connected and they combined. They were going to turn into something else and then get away. And I think she burns them and she goes to turn and burn the body. She partially burns the one that's combined now with Adam. And the thing, it breaks through the wall and goes into another room.
Well, before they burn it, they actually try chopping it and it ends up becoming two different centipede creatures. And then so then Kate burns it, and
no, because the two pieces rejoin together.
Yeah, the arms rejoined.
They do rejoin, but when he axes it in half, he creates two creatures, and then they join back together after. And then Kate burns it, and it's clear that burning it is the only way to get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
which we learned in the 82 movie, not necessarily.
Yeah.
You got to really make sure that thing is extra burnt.
Oh,
you want it well done, not medium rare. Well done on that fucker.
Yep.
There, you should only have a whole bunch of pink on meat in a special place.
And okay, so
hand. I'm not going to add to that. It's not my ship.
So then we see it's about to get Carter, and Kate burns it, and then they decide to take it outside and roast it, and then you see Sander driving away in one of those snowcats, and so Kate and Adam decide to go after him.
My God, why didn't anybody think about including that song?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because when it I'm trying to think now. When it went through the wall and he got away, or whatever, the American, what's his name, Egerton, that actor, him and Kate, they're together trying to find the thing, and then it gets that guy who wanted to win his Nobel Prize. It attacked him.
Dr. Halverson. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that was his name.
Yeah.
If the names were more memorable, I would have remembered them.
I know. The characters are very easily forgettable.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. So okay. Yeah. So then they decide.
But they do get the one with the double face. They get it. They use something and they kind of partially exploded it out of the area. It goes outside, and then Kate has her flamethrower, and she kind of finishes it off. But we think that it's finished off.
Yeah.
Because when we see it again, the one that's got the double face, it's Kurt Russell discovers it with the other dude, and they bring it back to their outpost.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the way. Yeah, that's. Yeah. I like how they included that, because that directly ties into 82.
Yep. Which again, that was great because they started. Yeah, they set the stage for it. So again, for people who haven't seen both movies, whatever, and you watch the prequel and then you watch the second one, again, with me, I didn't remember it fully from I saw it when I was a kid. I'm like, I remember it's a horror movie, but not too much. But
the one thing I hated about this one though.
What's that?
Is I hate the fact that they get to the point where the aliens getting ready to take off in the ship, like the ship's working the whole time. The ship was supposed to have crashed. I hated that part of the movie. It made
the one where the guy is rebuilding a ship, you mean?
No, at the end of 2011. The end of the 2011.
In 2011,
he's getting ready to escort the ship up and take off.
Yeah, I was right before you said that, Tommy. I was looking at my notes and I was thinking the same exact thing. Yep. That was a huge takeaway for me. Because how is a ship fully functional like that? It shouldn't be like that. Mm-hmm. It didn't make any sense to me, and I didn't like that whole sequence of events anyway. It kind of just was weird, and just like the way they show that that kind of like power thing,
and they like go in the ship anyway, don't they? At one point,
they feel it like rumbling, so they start running, and then she falls through like one of those air vent things that like the grills. And she falls down, and then Adam decides to go down after her. But when she's down there, like she's like looking around and stuff, and they showed like this power supply thing. I mean, it's cool, but I felt like it didn't really belong in the movie.
Exactly. You know what it felt like to me? It felt like they were trying to copy The Predator 2, when Danny Glover lands in the ship at the end.
Oh.
That's what it felt like, and that's why I'm like, no, that's wrong. I don't like it either. That's why I'm glad it doesn't take off.
Well, another stupid thing, just to add on to it. I mean, first off, we know the ship crashed there. So it crashed. It's not working. Second thing, if you got air vents that big that you can get to the damn center of the ship, it's not much of a damn ship for outer space. I'll tell you that much. Because if you got that much vacuum running through your ship is not going to be able to hold together in space. So it's stupid.
No, yeah, you're 100% right. Again, Tommy knows this kind of stuff, and his former career, one of his things that he did, and that he builds all those awesome battle bots. So he knows what's up. He's like, if you put a little extra crazy glue somewhere, it's not necessarily going to fix things either.
Yeah, need duct tape for that.
Mm-hmm.
Duct tape and spackle can fix the world.
And Gorilla Glue.
So the one
Only
thing...
if you're working as a hairdresser.
So the one thing that I did kind of like with the ending, like, so that was almost the ending, but then like more towards the end, we see that she figures out, like, Adam at some point gets assimilated. And he's no longer Adam. She can tell by the ring, and when she mentions the earring, he goes for the wrong ear, and that's how she knows it's not really Adam anymore. And
he was Adam. I got him confused with the guy with the blonde hair. The names, rather.
Yeah, her and Adam are the ones that left in the snowcat and ended up at that alien ship.
All right, the one who merged the other blonde-headed idiot, like that guy couldn't stand. He looked like someone out of Scooby-Doo or something.
I can't remember their names.
Okay, yeah, because that one I didn't know who it was, but yeah, that's the one that merged with the other guy.
And I would have got away with it if it wasn't for the pesky kids and that dog.
What's up, Stig? Nice to see you.
Hey, Stig.
So she tortures him, and then she gets in another snowcat, and she's just sitting there, and it fades to black. I like the way they did that.
Yeah, she's gonna freeze to death
because it left it ambiguous, like the end of 82.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then when they go to black, and right before they start to show a little bit of the credits, you see Sven. He kicks open a door, and he's freaking out, and you see this dog take off, and he's chasing it. He's trying to get it, and then this helicopter lands there, who's like shouting and looking like, "What's going on?" Like he's looking for people, and he sees Sven coming at him like a maniac.
Yeah.
The chopper. He gets in the chopper, and they're following the dog through the snow. And then he's got a rifle, and he's trying to shoot at the damn thing. And yeah, it goes right into the beginning of 82, which again, picks up. It starts with the dog running in the snow, the husky.
Now I want to know. So when he goes back, when he lands at the Thule station, with the helicopter, Lars is there and starts shooting at him, and it's like, open your mouth. Where did Lars hide the whole time?
No idea.
Right?
Well, it's like hold on, it's like Child's. Because remember, he goes, "Oh, I thought I saw the old man there, Wilford Brimley," and he goes, "Then I got lost in the snow." And when all the shit was going down, you don't know, maybe he got knocked out or something, you know?
Yeah, I don't know.
Could have been anything, because he's not a coward. The character's not a coward.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm just wondering where he was the whole time, because they burned the camp down.
Yeah, because she mentions it too. So they go, "What happened to Sven?" And they just assume that he got killed.
Lars.
Or was it Lars?
Yeah, it was Lars, because remember, Lars got grabbed, and they thought the Americans grabbed him, but we never saw Lars again. And then they asked him, and he was like, "We didn't take Lars."
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, you're right. I get the names all confused, but I was good. Oh, wait a minute! Before he pops up with the flamethrower chasing the dog, the pilot, didn't he open up the door and you saw one of the other guys who was trying to get to the intercoms, and that's where he offed himself, because Kurt Russell ends up finding that same guy when they get to the outpost. Like, what the hell happened here? Before they found the alien thing.
Okay, so at the end of 2011, when the helicopter comes, it's just one guy in the helicopter, one guy in Lars.
Wait. Oh, so they were just panning, and they kind of showed the area. They showed where some of the bodies were, right?
Yeah. So we see the guy in the helicopter. He lands at the Thule station where 2011 all took place, and then Lars shoots at him and says, "Open your mouth," and whatever. And then we see a dog jump out of the building and start running. They decide to get in the helicopter. Like, Lars gets in the helicopter with them, and then Lars and that guy head over to the American station, and then we get into the 1982 movie.
That's right. Yeah.
they're shooting at the dog because the dog is not a dog.
Yep. Which is great.
Mm-hmm.
The guy's like, why are you shooting at a dog? That's not a dog.
Yeah, and Stig is our resident Norwegian, and he says in the 1982 movie, when the Norwegians get out of the helicopter and are trying to say, like, that's not a dog, what are you doing, leave it alone, that they're actually not, like, they didn't translate it right, so it's kind of gibberish. So I thought that was funny.
That is funny.
Nice.
Yep, so we finally made it to 1982.
Oh yeah.
What's going on to Frankie? Frankie says, I saw the thing, the older thing, not the black and white thing, and not the newest thing. I saw the middle thing with Kurt Russell. That's nasty, Frankie. That's nasty.
What's up, Frankie?
Oh, and one last thing. Did you know one of the guys' names was Stig, since Stig was in the chat?
Yes, right. I did see that. Yeah, one of the actors is Stig.
Yeah, guy plays Peter.
Okay.
Nice.
All right, so now we are at 1982.
The really good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And the ending of 2011 goes right into the beginning of 1982, where we see the helicopter come in with Lars and that other guy. Can't remember his name. And the dog running.
Right. His name was not important.
Yeah, so yeah, they're shooting at the dog like we mentioned, and the Americans come out of the base and they're like, "What the heck is going on?" Because
they heard the helicopter. They didn't hear the gunshots yet, and when they got out there, they're all standing like, "What's going on?" It lands, and then he comes out shooting like a maniac.
Yep, and they're like, "What the heck is going on?" And it's funny because if you already know what happens in the thing 1982, and you just watch 2011, like, you know exactly what's going on, and it's funny to watch. It's actually very amusing, because we know that, like, you know, they're saying that it's not really a dog and stuff like that, and the reason why that, like, they go crazy about a helicopter is because they've been trying to get on the airwaves and find someone for like 2 weeks, and they haven't been able to. So it's like, what the heck is this helicopter? And then these guys, and they also say in the movie, maybe we're at war with Norway. And that's later in 1982, though, so that's a little bit of a spoiler. So these guys come up guns blazing.
Yeah, and the dog runs past one of them, and one of the Americans gets shot.
Yeah, because, like, when you're first watching it, it's like, why are they trying to kill this dog? What the hell is wrong with these guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's exactly what the Americans think when they see it. So, yeah, they don't...
Which, by the way, before we get more into it, that's also why I think that prequel makes this one even better, because it makes sense of why it tried to hide so long.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I thought, like, it complemented it.
Yep. Yeah. It was
wanted
good.
To get out there. It wanted to get to civilization.
Yep. Yeah, it's definitely it's got that biological imperative. It wants to replicate.
Yep. The Fauci would have been proud. You really.
So okay, so yeah, they're outside and they're doing like this. They're trying to figure out what the heck's going on with these helicopter guys, and as the driver of the helicopter gets out with his gun, he goes to shoot the dog, but shoots George instead, and that's when, like, he kind of goes crazy, and then Lars ends up, like, the pilot of the helicopter actually gets a grenade but throws it behind him.
It slipped out because of the gloves he had. He couldn't feel it in his hand. It slipped out of his hand.
Yeah. Yeah. So like that was so stupid. And so the other guy goes to get it. Like, what the heck?
Mittens, man, they suck.
Maybe the other guy thought they were playing a game of hot potato.
So like I don't know. I don't think I'd go after a grenade. I don't know. That's just me, I guess. But
right. No, it's not just you.
So yeah.
Now, see, if that was set in more modern times, I would completely understand why that person might go after, because they probably thought it was a giant vibrating butt plug.
Jesus. They would have went on it butt first.
Oh my.
Yeah, so Lars survives the whole movie only to end up killing himself on a grenade. Like, stop it. He deserved better than this.
Lars survived to get killed by a giant butt plug.
Yeah, not cool.
Yeah, so poor George ends up getting shot.
In the face.
They kill the Nordman that took the shot because they didn't know what the heck he was saying. So I guess we just kill people when we don't understand them. Yep. I'm just kidding.
Seems legit.
That was a future Biden voter.
So back in the camp, George is getting his stitches, and yeah, that's when we find out that Windows has been trying to reach someone on the radio for like 2 weeks, and they haven't heard anything, and that's when they say, oh, it was a couple of Norwegians out there, and that's when they're explaining like how he got shot and everything that happened, and that's when what was his name? Well, I can't remember his name, but he says maybe we're at war with Norway, and but yeah, so they decided to send a couple guys to the Norway station to see what was going on, like like what prompted all this and all that. So so they do that. McCready and Doc end up going to the Norway station. Meanwhile, the dog is just kind of creeping around and is like visiting rooms, and he goes into George's room, and that it like just goes in there, and it's weird. Like you can tell that the dog is not right.
Yeah, because you see the shadow of George on the wall.
Yeah,
and like they kept it kind of almost eerie, like because we know it's kind of up. If you watch the prequel, you know it's up. If you're first watching, it's like why they're staying in, they're kind of showing that he's petting the dog, he's with the dog, but through a silhouette or through the shadow rather on the wall, not through. You don't see the actor himself, which is kind of it was weird. Like he's kind of like he creeped in there, and he's like, "Oh, hey buddy, how you doing?"
Yep. Oh, Palmer, that was his name.
Palmer, he's the one with the dogs.
Palmer is he's the one that says maybe we're at war with Norway.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. And so at any rate, so yeah, McCready and Doc, they end up going to the Norwegian station, and it's empty, it's in smoky ruins. And the funny thing is, I think Stieg had to have gotten a kick out of this when he was watching the movie, but McCready kept referring to them as Swedes, and Doc is like, they're Norwegians, they're not Swedes, and Stieg always like that's the thing with Stieg. He always like says that, so I got a kick out of that watching the movie.
Nice.
Yeah, so we see, and now they discover a guy in a chair with his throat cut and tendons hanging out of his arm. And do you remember that? We saw that in 2011.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Which is great. And again, they recreated those rooms in that movie. Everything was like perfect of the outpost.
Yep.
So yeah, definitely. I mean, even Nick Utam, he said the same thing. He's like, yeah, you got to give it to them. The set designers, they made sure everything was perfect to the original movie. Because that's a very important scene, and they're not there for a long time, but it was very important and crucial to establish that stuff.
Yeah.
Because something went down, They don't know what the hell went down. And and they start to make these discoveries. And as they're looking at that, Kurt Russell's character, McCready, he goes into a room and you just hear him shouting out, "Get over here! You got to see this!" And he's in the room that has a giant block of ice, and the snow's kind of falling in. So like, I love that it was right there, like the same day or like the previous day. Like I love that it was that quick.
Yes, and I love that part because the rectangular, like that block of ice, it looks exactly the same in the 2011 prequel.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really good. I like the way they did that.
Yep, it was good stuff.
Yeah, and in that room, how in the 1982 movie, it's all like burnt out and it's in ruins and stuff, and like it looks exactly how it would look if it had just been burnt like recently.
Yep.
That was really well done. I thought like the continuity there was right on.
Absolutely.
Very convincing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so let's see. Yeah. So then they're like they go outside and that's when they see that double that the alien thing that with the two faces.
Yeah, the remains of it. But what they think are the remains of it.
Yep. Yeah. They decide that it would be a good idea to take that back to the base.
Yeah. Yeah. Not a bad idea. Nothing bad could happen here.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's dead, right? Yeah, it looks dead. Yeah, sure. Quick, grab a tarp.
Poke it with a stick real quick.
Take a picture. It'll last longer.
And so as they're coming back in, I like how the dog is just staring out the window, like watching. Like they are definitely telling us this dog is different.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
I love that.
And it's almost like it was waiting for its.
Like waiting intently. Like, that was wild. I love that.
Like, are they stupid enough to bring back more of me?
I know. Like that's my fam. And so so they decided to do an autopsy, and Blair is saying that it looks to be like a normal set of organs.
Yeah, he found a liver, intestines. Mm-hmm. Like he opened up part of it, and it's like, okay, well, what's the rest of that shit?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at this. Soul Assassin says the set builders used Kurt Russell's height for measurements on the prequel sets. No kidding.
Nice. Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Cool.
That is cool. See, like I said, that prequel didn't have to be a perfect movie or anything like that. It gave enough that made 82 even better. That's why I really, really liked it.
Yeah, it was.
Just think if the script was done a little bit better, how much more meaningful it could have been.
Oh, for sure.
I know. Like
that
if they
and practical, if they stuck with the practical like they wanted.
Yeah. Practical effects like was originally intended and characters we care about.
Yep.
That would have been a fantastic, like A plus movie, like The Thing.
Yeah, and it wouldn't have taken too much to make you care more about the characters either.
Right.
And speaking of characters you care about, NECA, you made McCready. When the hell are you going to make the dog? Make the dog.
They're making it.
Nice.
Yeah, I can't wait to get that.
Yeah.
I mentioned that in my toy review today.
Yep.
But Soul Assassin says, is the Thing able to recreate dead flesh? I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I think it only can replicate living tissue because it has to take over and mimic. I don't think it can resurrect.
Yeah. Which that's what I liked about it too, because it had to absorb them completely, and it makes sense why it has all their thoughts and memories and speech patterns and all that crap.
Yeah. Very well done.
Mm-hmm.
So so they're chilling in the rec room, and the dog startles one of the guy, and he says, "Okay, let's put the dog in the kennel with the other dogs."
Yeah.
And so that scene, man. So
the first time I saw that, I was that's some freaky shit. They did such a great job with that.
Yes. Yeah, so as he's leading the dog to
Clark.
the kennel.
Yeah,
Clark, that's right. Clark is leading the dog to the kennel. You can tell the dog is just it's very out of place, and he gets in the kennel and he just like acts weird and he's steering.
As soon as Clark closes the door and walks away, the other dogs start to act weird and they start snarling and getting angry and and they're all stepping away from it.
Hell yeah.
I love that. And
that was grotesque.
Awesome stuff. It's so well done, man. Mm-hmm. All practical effects right there. That's amazing. You just can't beat that.
Right. When they make the dog, are we going to get the regular dog as well in there?
Let me think. I think it comes in stages of transformation.
Okay.
I can't really remember.
You saw photos or?
Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, let me look it up.
Because I was curious. That looks so good. And then like that shit that it spit at the dog, and then like that next scene that you see, it's like, like acid, and it's like it was kind of digesting it from like outside first and then absorbed it.
Yes.
Yep. I know this is before Resident Evil, but the eyes and stuff on it too. Gave me Resident Evil vibes.
Oh yeah, they definitely. Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
Oh, neat.
Yeah. So you can see stages of transformation.
Holy hell!
I cannot wait to get that.
Oh, all right. It's definitely it's going to be a big box set then.
Yeah. This is going to be a big one.
Damn.
Yeah.
Trina says if you're going to do it big.
That's right.
I love that it's stages of the transformation. So like if you were making like a video or something, like that would be cool.
Oh yeah. That's so gross. I remember McFarlane, they did like 2 of them. They had like the head that was trying to sneak out of the room. The redheaded guy.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Going with the stomach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember that guy's name.
I know.
This is like my favorite part.
What was your favorite part?
This scene or whatever here that I have.
Oh, yeah.
That, and then the one where the guy's head like splits apart and then grabs the other dude. That just got past that he wasn't a thing.
Well, it was so good because it was so unexpected. Like a lot of the shit that it did, it was like, there was no way you weren't seeing anything like that anywhere else.
Yep.
It was excellent. Was it Vance? Was that the guy's name? The redheaded guy?
I'm checking my notes. I cannot remember.
Me neither.
This is bugging me.
Right? Yeah, it was Vance.
Okay.
Vance Norris. That was his name. The one who like he wasn't feeling good. Because that
Norris,
was
yep. Yep, I got that in my notes.
Yeah, because when they were talking about when they started discovering what was kind of going on, all right, we'll get to that later anyway. Never mind. I won't jump to shark. But that scene with the dog was crazy, absolutely crazy.
Soul assassin.
They need to.
Right. Seriously.
Excellent stuff. But then Dr. Blair starts to doesn't he do like the tests and stuff?
I think so. He starts testing the stuff, and then they look at the
because they did
the videos and stuff of the cells and all that.
Yeah, because like when that stuff was going down, Blair was trying to figure out and doing the autopsy, and trying to find out more about that thing, and he starts to just make some discoveries because he's making notes, personal notes and things. He's not telling anybody yet, and he knows there's some seriously messed up shit going on.
Yeah, and like right after that whole dog thing, Blair, Wilford Brimley's character, he discovers that it's a life form that mimics other life forms, because they're doing like that another autopsy, and he's like, see, now it's a dog, but it's not a dog.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was so good in it.
He really was such a good actor.
Yep.
And then so they're watching a video which looks like the Norwegians excavating something and buried under the ice. Remember that?
Yeah, that's the thing. They find the footage because they were doing that in the 2011 movie. You could see that they were recording stuff, which again, awesome stuff. And like Draven was saying too, like the original Resident Evil game took a lot of those kind of aspects of it. That's why like the first thing you see is a zombie dog in the games. Mm-hmm. The first zombie that you encounter, like the body it was feeding on. When you go back and you go through the remains, you find the video, like a videotape, and later in the game you find a place to play it, and it's the same deal. You can see kind of what was going on, like when they first landed. So like I love that they did that in horror, especially with those games. Like they gave nods to these movies, and the inspiration for all these really disturbing things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good shit.
Yeah, I love that. So after that, they decide to fly out to the excavation, the alien crash site where the Norwegians were excavating.
Mm-hmm.
And they find the remnants of a craft, and they said that it looks to be at least 100,000 years old, and that was just like wild, because of how far they suppose that because of how far down it is and all of that.
Mm-hmm. Right. And they found that block of that block of ice that was missing.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that. So I love that. I just love that because we just, like, you see that in the 2011 movie, you actually see the full block of ice with the alien in it.
Yep.
Like, that's just awesome. And then in 82, it's just a missing rectangle.
Yeah,
so that's awesome.
Which you saw the empty version of that earlier in the movie, which was also good.
Yep. Yeah, I love that. Mm-hmm. And so they get back to the base and talking about stuff. And one part I loved is they're talking about like how it doesn't make sense and whatnot. And Palmer says, "Dude, chariots of the gods." They basically, what did they say? They own South America or something to that effect. They basically taught the Incas or someone or something like that everything they know. I don't
remember fully.
Yeah, it was in the the 82 movie when they're talking about like how like aliens crashing and stuff like this and how it shouldn't be possible and all of that. And he mentions the book. Have you ever heard of Chariots of the Gods?
Mm-mm.
No, I never read it.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So then
Eric Von Daniken.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. So you'd have to be like you'd have to be familiar with that for that to kind of make sense to you.
Okay.
But yeah, it's cool.
Nice.
And then next thing we see is Wilford Brimley, Blair, on the computer, and he's doing like he's running some number, like a probability check, and it shows that that there are the probability that there are more team members infected is like at least 75%. And the projection is that if the intruder organism reaches civilized areas, the entire world population will be infected within 27,000 hours from first contact. Then we see him open the drawer and take out a gun.
Yeah, which was great.
So yeah, that was I liked that part in the movie. Yeah, that was good. That was good. I like how they added that.
Yeah, because boy, he loses his shit.
Yes, big time.
You don't know what's going on here. I know what's going on here.
He's just destroying everything.
Yeah, he's flipping out. Yeah, he apparently attacked the intercom where Windows was. And again, good name too. He's like a disc jockey kind of gimmick. Like it's stuff that you remember and you know. So he's like out on the floor, bleeding from his face, and he's smashing up everything. Blair's just like breaking everything. He's got an axe. He's got his gun. Anyone who tries to come near the room, he starts shooting at the doorway.
Yep.
And they're like, "What the hell's going on?" And I'm trying to remember what happened with the dude who did get shot in the leg, because that was around the same time.
Well, just
Bennings.
Yeah. So let's see. Yeah. So Windows says that they should burn all the bodies because him and Bennings are kind of like in this storeroom. And
it was after then, right? Yeah, it was after. Okay, all right. Yeah, we won't jump there then yet.
Yeah, and then Bennings is like, no, we can't destroy the find of a century. And then as Windows like turns around, we see the blanket. He puts a blanket back over it, and we see the blanket move.
Well, yeah. Well, because this scene's like a little bit after this scene when they stop Blair. Because Blair starts he's a maniac, and everyone's afraid to go near him. And McCready tells the other dudes to kind of where to situate themselves. He told Childs to go through the other door, try to distract them, and try to talk them down. And as he does that, like one of the other guys grabs like one of those fold-up tables, and they're trying to figure out how they're going to stop him. So they hear that Blair he's out of bullets. He's shooting at the doorway all over the place whenever Childs tries to come into the room. Keith David and he throws the gun. He ran out of bullets and he just throws the gun at the doorway, and he's still with the axe. So as he's with the axe, McCready grabs his or one of the other guys and him. They run in with the table, and Blair hits the table. He gets the axe stuck in it, and then they throw it to the side and start to kind of beat him down. And McCready gives him a good shot that knocks him down. And then they restrain him, and they're trying to figure out what they're going to do with him. And they put him into like this little cabin area by himself.
Yeah.
And he's like,
they put him in the tool shed.
Yeah. Which is crazy.
And I kind of felt bad for him being all alone in there.
Yeah. Which again, that's a bad thing too.
He went off the rocker though.
Yeah, he really did.
He could have talked to somebody first, but he didn't trust any of them because he's like, yeah, these guys, someone's already infected. Oh, that's what he says too. When McCready is like trying to talk him down, and he's like, listen, you got to stay in here, buddy. we gotta make sure you're gonna be all right. And he goes, listen, Clark, keep an eye on Clark.
Yeah.
He was with that dog.
Yes.
So it's in McCready's head now. It's like, all right, something could be a little bit off over there.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're really starting to see nobody is trusting anybody. Yeah. Everybody's getting scared. It's escalating.
Well, it gets to that point, not there yet. It gets to that point when you said, they throw like the sheet over the one with the double that the first one that they did the autopsy with, that they brought back from the other outpost. Yeah. And that's when the dude who got shot, he's left in the room with it by itself. Windows. He stepped out of the room for a minute, and Bennings, you could see like the tendrils come from underneath, like the thing started to move. Because before Windows walks out of the room, like you see it moving, and then Windows turns around, it's not moving anymore. He's like, and he just walked out of the room like, nah, I'm seeing things. But then the tendril by itself, and it grabs Bennings. And then because as it's absorbing him or something, Windows comes back into the room. He sees part of it and starts to freak out, and he's screaming for help. And he gets McCready. I forgot who else was with them, but when they get back there, the body's gone. And Bennings he was spotted outside. He was running in the snow, and he had like his jacket on with the hood up. And they all kind of stopped him. He falls to his knees, and they're all surrounding him. And then you could see like he moves, and you could see that the hands are all this creature, and he's looking at them, and he starts doing that weird like that weird noise coming out of his mouth. Like
Windows is yelling, saying, "It's not Bennings. It's not Bennings."
Yeah.
It isn't Bennings.
Great scene.
I love that scene. That noise he makes, it's so ungodly.
Yep.
You caught me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit was great. So grotesque. And that's what I want to put. I'm going to be putting some disturbing things into City of Venus, by the way, into that sequel. It's like, all this stuff. It's always inspired me. I always love that type of thing. But you're going to see something really cool in this book.
Nice.
But that scene was excellent, and that's when they all start now they're looking at each other funny from that point.
Yeah, and that's you're seeing how they can't trust anybody, because it could look like anybody now, and so now they're all scared, and that's when the doc says that they could trying to figure out okay, how can we figure out who's human or not, and the doc says that they could do blood serum tests.
Yeah.
So they decide to set that up in the lab, and they take everyone's blood, and then they go to check on the blood, and someone destroyed all the blood. It's just dripping out on the floor everywhere.
Yep.
So now there's a fight, who could have been that did it, and nobody's trusting anybody. How could you? And then we see McCready is recording his thoughts about everything. He says that he notices that when a person is taken over, the clothes get destroyed, and that he found a pair of destroyed long johns, but there's no name on them.
Right.
And he says that they're all getting tired, and nobody can trust anybody anymore.
Mm-hmm. And then out in one of the other outposts, they were still kind of looking around, and they find a jacket or something that had a name tag.
Yes, Fuchs is outside, and he is well, he sees a tall shadow walk by, and he goes after it. He ends up outside, and he sees McCready's destroyed jacket. Mm-hmm. And that was right after we heard McCready saying that the thing destroys their clothing.
Right.
So Fuchs is now thinking, okay, McCready's not McCready anymore.
Yep. The thing that right away. And Childs.
Yep.
Real quick, Blue. No. This movie didn't inspire me recently. Like, I've been inspired by a whole bunch of stuff a while ago. It's just, yeah, no. I've had certain things planned out for a very long time. So, yeah. Did Tina not see this movie? Because when you showed that clip, yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't think Tina would definitely would not like the prequel.
No, because of how grotesque it is.
Yeah.
Oh, when things are too much, it's too
Yeah.
Yeah. How bloody would you say this movie is?
I mean, the dog scene alone. I mean,
this one's pretty bad. Compared to the 2011 version, I think.
Hey, Zombie Box Reviews, thanks for stopping by.
Hello.
The dog scene alone is like pretty rough.
Yeah,
if you're squeamish.
Yeah, what are those tendrils? Like, how did they do that? She says she
even the like swarming noise like that they use like is just the
Frankie, I bad take potion.
I was literally eating a plate of pasta when I was watching that scene with all these tendrils coming. I'm like, this ain't the best option.
Vinny eating pasta? Nah.
Hey yo, no way. Ah, damn it! I forgot to go out and get the Mario Brothers movie.
I could have got it today. I decided not to. I don't think I'm going to get it right away.
Oh, I had that pre-ordered like immediately.
Nice.
I'm not sure if I want to get the 4K one or just the Blu-ray because I don't have a 4K player, so it's just kind of.
Oh, PS5 doesn't do 4K.
I'm not sure if it does or not. I'd have to look, but on the back of the 4K disc, it didn't mention anything about PS5, so I don't know.
Oh,
okay. If it does or not.
Yeah, that movie was fantastic. I totally forgot. Damn it.
Blue Samurai says that he's only seen some scenes from 82 and he loved the black and white original and that we're making them have to get the 82 and prequel. Yeah, dude,
they're on Tubi and Netflix from what I understand.
Yep. Yeah.
So yeah, go because we watched them on both those services.
Anyway. Both of them are on Tubi, and then just the 2011 one is on Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, actually, all three are on Tubi. The black and white, the prequel, and the 82. They're all on Tubi right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to check them out before you decide to buy them, yeah, I love Tubi for that.
Yeah, so good. I thank you, Trina, because like I didn't know about Tubi at all, and you're like, "Yo, everything's on Tubi." I'm like, "Really?" I'm like, "How much does that cost?" She's like, "It's free."
Yeah, I know, right? Like that's my favorite price.
That's the magic.
Nobody ever listens to the Pig. The Pig has been talking about Tubi for a long time.
Well, I know, but it wasn't until the movie reviews because I wasn't really like
you know. Son of a bitchy, you son of a bitch, just putting a guinea pig down. I'm gonna remember this.
I didn't put nobody down. I literally was just like, I listen to podcasts when I'm working.
You know, just because we're small and fuzzy, you think you could try to walk all over us?
Never.
I've been assimilated. I think it was actually Tommy that I think it might have been Tommy that introduced me to Tubi, as a matter of fact.
Well, there you go. Then thank you, Tom, again.
Mm-hmm. You know, the first time I found it was probably like, I want to say it was almost 2.5 years ago or something. It was the first time I found it, and I seen like a couple things on it, but at the time it was kind of, I was spoiled by some of the other services with no commercials. So it was like, you know, I mean, this is cool, but I'm not going to sit through all these commercials. And then you start getting garbage, and then the regular services started putting commercials on anyway. So it was like, maybe it's not that bad after all.
Yeah. And it's really not, depending on what time of day you watch it. I watched 2 movies and I only had like 1 commercial.
Yeah, it depends on when you watch it. Yeah, sometimes like I'll get 3 commercials, but I lived through 80s and 90s. I'm used to commercials.
Yeah.
But Soul Assassin, I love this idea. Tubi, please sponsor the channel.
Right? Get on it.
I praise them enough, right?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Praise them more.
And hey, Tony, I'm sorry I missed you. Missed your chat earlier. Thanks for stopping by.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. So
right now they're thinking McCready is the thing.
Yeah.
And they lock all the doors and they're trying to seal it off, and he's out there and he's banging on the door. They're like, "Don't let him in. It's that thing."
Blue Samurai, I gotta read this. Commercials are great, like when you gotta change it to pens after the last 4 scares. Yeah, Soul Assassin has mentioned that there's a Thing game and it's an official sequel.
And there was a comic book also. They said it was a sequel to the movie, and it was like a full series.
Yeah, there was the game, and then they were gonna do a second game, but it got canceled.
Okay.
But Carpenter recently said that he's got an idea for a sequel, and they're kind of making something happen.
Nice.
All right. If he's involved, then I feel good about it. But getting after 2010, 2011, it's getting into kind of shaky territory with like new movies based on older material.
I know, because here's the thing: if you do a sequel, are we going to be answering what happened between McCready? Like, I'm talking on film, not just the games or the comic book, but like are they going to say what happened? Was Childs? We could speculate after, right? We'll keep going.
Yeah. We always do this. We get sidetracked in the middle.
We get excited because like, oh yeah, we want more.
I know, it's the chat's fault because they'll bring up stuff, but then we're like, oh yeah. And
right.
I'm just kidding, chat. I love you.
That's good stuff. Because we're all fans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those look good. Those comics look great.
Yeah, those covers are excellent.
Yeah, the game takes place sometime after it, and a military guy or whatever comes in. Let me look up the synopsis.
You know what I like about the comics is that they tie it back into the original movie with the title of Thing from Another World.
Oh, nice.
That's cool.
Well, how come the book doesn't ever get any mention?
Yeah. Oh, what was the name of it again? Because it wasn't the Thing. It came from outer space, or no?
Who goes there? Is that the name of it?
Yeah, I think that was it.
Yeah.
So the game begins at U.S. Outpost 31 in Antarctica, sometime after the events of the film, and it's a U.S. Special Forces team that shows up.
Frankie, they should name the sequels Another Thing, One More Thing, and what is that thing?
Excellent.
The thing that went inside of the thing.
Oh man.
And then they could do another one with Samuel L. Jackson. That motherfucking thing.
And apparently McCready is nowhere to be found from the plot of this, so I'm assuming they're looking for him.
Interesting.
The last one should be, that thing.
The thing.
The thing. Come on, it's gonna go lick the world.
This is on the PS2, by the way, that this came out on Xbox.
Yes. Zombie Box, that's right. The novel came out in 1938.
Wow.
And then the movie, the original black and white movie, what was that, like 41?
51?
I want to say it was 41, but it could have been a little bit later. I forget exactly.
I think it was 51 because all those, like, the things from outer space and all that, most of those movies were in the 50s.
It was in the 40s. I know if it was in the 40s. I want to say 41. But, oh God, here we go. Soul Assassin, don't forget the spin-off movie. Come on, man, The Thing.
No, actually, it was 51. Yeah, 51.
Oh, it was right. 51. Okay.
I was right. I get a cigar.
I hear they're working on a novella too, in addition to the thing. It's good. It's the thing on the White House lawn.
Oh, jeez.
It was that original movie, the 51. It was 5 million short of 2 million that it made at the box office.
5 million short of 2 million.
Or sorry,
so it was in the negative?
500,000.
So they paid people to go see it.
Yeah. Right now it's not Vinny's fault. He's working on Disney economics. So.
Fuck you. Fuck you all. I'm old and I'm tired. I didn't sleep.
I know that feeling.
Yeah, same.
Okay, all right, we gotta finish this review, guys. Everybody's
We're trying to.
What the heck is going on here?
On the door, they won't let him in. So then they hear a crash, and he came in through the storage unit, and he's in there like a lunatic, and he grabbed the TNT. He's got the dynamite, and he's threatening to light it. He's got his blowtorch or his whatever. He's gonna blow them up. And he's like, Aaron, get back. He's like, I know who I am. He's standing there in the doorway. What I have there, Trina's reaction to finding out that movie is a prequel, and she's like, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
so we're off the rails completely.
McCready decides that they need to check on Blair, and he's like, why? And he's like, the other guy he's with is like, why? And McCready's like, well, because when I left the shack, the light was off, or was on, or was off.
It was off.
It was off.
And it's now on. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, so they go to check on Blair. And Blair's like, I'd really like to come in. I'm okay. I know, whatever was wrong with me, it's fine now. It's gone. I'm not going to hurt anybody.
Totally different.
Yeah. And like, I'm feeling totally bad for him because he's like, I don't want to be out here anymore. I want to come back inside. And then McCready's like, yeah, we'll see, and shuts the door.
Mm-hmm. Kurt Russell was so good in this movie.
He really was.
Mm-hmm.
He's fantastic.
He is the man.
Mm-hmm.
And so they end up finding Fuchs' remains. The McCready tells Windows to go inside and tell the others that they found Fuchs, and McCready and Knowles will be in as soon as they can. And he asks why, and McCready says because when he left the shack, the light was off, and now it's on. So that's when that happened. So it was after they had checked on Blair. Right. Because Blair was in the tool shed, not McCready's shack. So right. I got that mixed up.
Yeah, because he said, McCready said he hadn't been there in a couple of days.
Yeah.
And he goes in, I shut my light. It's on now. So yeah, when they were doing all that stuff, that's when they ended up finding the jacket and and they're like, it's him. He's the thing, and that's when they locked the door on his ass.
Yep.
And and he broke in through the tool shed thing, or the supply room rather, and he grabbed the dynamite, and he's like, Aaron, get back. But while that happened, didn't the thing make an appearance again? Something else happened while they were in the middle of that, or is it when they were testing the blood?
Yeah, it wasn't until.
When did Clark go down? Oh wait, it was during that, right? Yeah, they were trying to get to him, and didn't McCready he shot him? Because what Blair put in his head that it's probably him. He spent time with that dog, and Blair stabbed the shit out of all the dogs. He killed them all when he destroyed everything. That was part of when he went psycho. And Clark's been messed up since then, so he's been acting funny, but apparently he did not change. He was still Clark.
Right, and inside. Okay, so inside the camp, well, like inside, the building. Who was it? Childs is looking outside the window, and the light is off, and he says that McCready and Knowles have been out for like 45 minutes, and so they decide to start barricading the doors. Norris looks outside and says to the crew, like, guys, come here, and he's wincing in pain, and Knowles staggers in and says that he ditched McCready because he found McCready's torn clothing, and then all of a sudden McCready is back at the base, and they don't want to let him in because how long he's been out there. And McCready's like, he threatens to blow up the place if anybody touches him.
Right.
Yeah. So that's how that happens, and then
that's when Norris, he's kind of like he's fallen to a knee in pain, wincing in pain. Yeah, because that's something that Blair said earlier too, or they found in his notes that they said that this thing could mimic people, but it's also it could even leave itself in food and things, and if you ingest it, it could do this. And apparently, like the way that they did it was like an assumption that it didn't get to him in the means that it did with the other people. It feels like there was a scene that was cut where I think it got into the food or something, because it was from inside out. Things were happening to that guy.
Yes,
because they make mention in Blair's notes about that.
I like this. What Zombie Box Reviews says. He says that the scream that Bennings gives out is all the beings that it assimilated.
Oh yeah.
Well, what's funny is there's another movie that did something very similar with a scream like that. If you guys remember that one with Donald Pleasance.
Yeah.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Oh yeah.
He points at the chick. But
that's another franchise that had a few movies. I think it was up to like 3.
I don't think I've seen those.
Yeah, I haven't either. I know they did like one of those remake things too.
Yeah, they did. It was like 93 or something.
Yeah.
But the 93 one, they say, is supposed to be closer to the original book.
Okay.
Okay, so at this point now, Norris is out, so they get him on a table to try to revive him. And as the doc is using the paddles, Norris's stomach opens up and grabs the doc's arms and cuts him off, like chews him off. Yeah.
His chest down to his stomach became like a sideways mouth.
Yeah.
Just like it was great.
My favorite scene.
Yeah, just like the typical liberal on Twitter.
Nom, 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 nom.
That was crazy.
Then his head starts ripping off.
Yeah, like it starts falling back.
Yep.
Like backwards off of the table. Oh, that was gross. It's like all green and shit.
And then it grows legs and.
Clear. What did Palmer say before they burned them? Because he walked in and he said something.
You gotta be effing kidding me.
That was excellent.
That scene is so good. The noise, I'd like to know how they created that noise because it is really creepy.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question.
So okay, so McCready decides to like he wants everybody tied up. Either they tie up or he kills them. Like there is no other option.
Mm-hmm.
And then Clark kind of like is like, no, I don't think so. So McCready shoots him. I think he thought Clark was infected.
Yeah, because he came at him though too.
Yeah,
Like, when he shot him.
yeah, Clark. Yeah, Clark came after him. So yeah, I mean, even if he wasn't infected, it was kind of self-defense. Kinda. Yeah.
It was still. Yeah, it was a little.
Yeah, it's a little iffy there, but
yeah, because they make mention of that later.
Yeah.
He didn't transform or nothing, and Child's like, "Yeah, you killed an innocent man."
Yeah, when they decide to, they decide to do that petri dish experiment with the.
Did you see what Zombie Box said? Aside from that awesome thing, I didn't know that Morricone did the music for this from The Good, Bad, and the Ugly. But yeah, that the actor who played Doc, they said that he really didn't have any arms.
Here, I got something interesting for you. So the sounds for the alien.
Yep.
So there's two basic modes. They say for the alien, they used everything from lions, tigers, bears, cows, horses, monkeys, and a lot of seals.
Wow.
To create all those sounds, like the guttural sounds and everything.
Okay.
Those comic book fans. Those seals.
Interesting.
They're trained.
And they said for Bennings, they used a lot of different voice screams and they synthesized them all to make it sound weird like that.
That one really freaks me out. Like I cannot get over that.
Yeah, that was disturbing.
Good stuff. So after he shoots Clark, he decides to draw everybody's blood and test it with the. Well, he comes up with like this idea. Like he's like, what if it's like. If you're one of those things, like you're all parts of a whole, right?
Yeah.
So if
it wants to protect itself.
Yeah, that's right. And so if you damage a little part, the whole will react. So he heats up the wire thing and tests everyone's blood out.
Starts with doesn't he start with Clark? No, he starts with himself, and then he goes to Clark, and they're like, "Yeah, you killed an innocent man." Because like when he tested himself, he goes, "Yeah, it's something that I know that you're all gonna see yourself." And he's like, "Yeah, see, I'm me."
Yeah, he does Windows first, and he's clear. And then he does Doc and Clark, and Clark was clear, and that's when they were like, "Oh, so you realize you killed an innocent man?" Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah. Whatever.
And McCready, now, right before he tested his blood and was cleared, I wasn't sure about McCready.
Yeah, they put doubt in there because they go, "Yeah, how can he be alive in that temperature for that long? No way."
Yeah.
And then when you see him, like it's that scene that I have there. It's like,
yeah, like he looked sick and all that. And so they end up they work down to Palmer, and his blood reacts, and then it shows like he's like wigging out in his chair, and then he transforms and he grabs Windows, and Windows was, and I feel bad because Windows had been cleared.
Yeah.
Yep.
Palmer that was so disturbing. I was like wiggling out like that, and
yeah,
it was gross. It was great.
Yeah, it was. And so
reminded me of the leech monster from the Swamp Thing, like with his hands and stuff, but all bloody. I don't know if you guys remember the leech monster from the Thing too. Or not the Swamp Thing too.
Zombie Box Review says they use that roar in several episodes of Ed, Ed, and Eddie, and he says he thinks that they use the same roar for the dragon in Shrek. No kidding.
Oh wow! And there's some thunder that's roaring out.
It's kind of like that cowboy guy that they kept reusing for all those movies, and it became like a Hollywood standard, for somebody gets killed. Like they did it multiple times in Star Wars.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the Wilhelm scream.
Yep.
Oh, Zombie Box Review says that they use some slaughtered pig screams.
That's rough.
So we see Palmer transform and he grabs windows, and that's a whole thing. But McCready burns him. And well, yeah. So after, actually, I should mention that Palmer, he transforms into, the thing, and then he grabs Windows. Windows had previously been cleared, but now because of the such close contact, and he throws Windows against the wall. Windows is now infected, so McCready has to burn both of them. That was sad.
Mm-hmm.
Knowles, Childs, and Gary, they're all cleared. So so that's all done, and then the tool shed where Blair was being held is now open, and he's not in there when they go to check on him. But they find that there's like this kind of thing in the floor. It's like not a hole, but like
almost like a trap door kind of thing.
Yeah, like a trap door. Yeah, that's a good one. And they go in and they find that like they go through like this tunnel underneath the shed, and it leads to like this underground station where part of the UFO is being stored. And evidently Blair has been taking parts of the helicopter and stuff and has been rebuilding the UFO.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, because Blair, earlier on when he went crazy, he destroyed the helicopter as well, so they couldn't take off. He wanted to strand it there.
Right. Yeah, so he's been cannibalizing the helicopter for parts for the UFO. Like, can you, like, he must have been doing this for a while.
Mm-hmm. Well, you don't know if it transformed to itself again, or did like its bug hands or some shit. And,
yeah.
I mean, again, it's an alien. We don't know exactly how this thing operates, what it was doing.
Yeah. So they decide to blow up the UFO and bulldoze into the camp and everything, setting it all on fire. And they discover that the generator is gone. And McCready's like, well, can you fix it? And he's like, no, it's gone. And
we're going to freeze to death.
Yeah. And Blair ends up attacking Gary. Knowles sees something and he wanders off. And then the monster appears and it tries to attack McCready. McCready blows it up with the dynamite. And then he's outside and Childs comes up and they don't trust each other. McCready's like, where were you the whole time? And then like they're just sitting outside and they're trying to like figure out what to do, and McCready's like, I think we should just wait and see what happens, and then it just kind of fades out, and that's the end.
Yeah, but their dialogue was interesting too. How he got there, because he was really like, yeah, where the hell were you the whole time? Like, I blew this thing up. Yeah, when Blair when he attacked Gary and all that, like, that was rough too. And he's literally putting his fingers through his face. It was crazy.
Oh,
and it grew weird. Yeah, it grew really big. The Blair one. It was pretty messed up. It was a massive explosion, and they're both like, again, freezing their ass off, and like, they ain't gonna make it. They know they're barely gonna make the night. And as they're talking, though, this is the one thing, if you notice, Childs there, Keith David, there isn't anything coming out of his mouth. You see all the hot air and stuff coming out of McCready's mouth. You're not seeing any from him.
Mm-hmm.
If you watch that scene. That's why a lot of people go, was he the Thing? You know, it was pretty interesting. Because he was very meticulous about a lot of things in that movie. So I'm thinking maybe he kind of told us without telling us.
Yeah. Well, you know, if they didn't do like sequels and stuff like that, like if 1982 and even 2011 were the only movies we had, and that was it to The Thing, I would originally think that they both were infected.
And
I
don't know. I wouldn't have thought that, because it wouldn't have a conversation with itself like that. I don't think it would.
Well,
you know, because it's like a hive mind thing, that whole. Because when it breaks off pieces of itself, like it's on its mission to do whatever the hell it was going to do. I don't think they would have had that conversation. One of them was human, I think, and one of them wasn't.
I know theories suggest that it's Childs isn't the Thing.
Yeah. Or they're both human. They did take out the Thing, and then Childs, he ends up getting a construction job, and he runs into Roddy Piper. And we know how that happens.
There's actually, speaking of Roddy Piper and They Live, there's a They Live reference in by Bumblebee and
oh, there is?
Yeah, in the new Transformers. Yeah.
Nice.
It's the chew bubble gum, but it cuts out the first part. It's just I'm here to kick ass or whatever.
Okay. Nice. So. At least he gives some respect to Roddy. Awesome. But excellent movie. I freaking love this one.
Yeah. Yeah. This movie is just top notch.
So good.
So, yeah, I wanted to kind of get into our thoughts on the 2011 prequel. So at first, you know, the very first time I tried watching it, I didn't even get like maybe 15 minutes in, because I didn't know it was a prequel. I thought it was a remake, and I couldn't stand it. And then, you know, when you brought up that it was a prequel last week, I was like, oh, okay. So I gave it a shot. And then I did the watch through the first time, and I was like, oh, no, I can't do this movie. And then I gave it another shot, and I ended up actually liking it the third time. And I really appreciate it. Like things I didn't appreciate like before, I do appreciate now, like how it's a seamless entry into, like, I guess a franchise, if you want to call it that. And how, you know, like the end just goes right into the end of the prequel goes right into the 1982 movie. I love that. And I thought it was really well done. They kept the continuity. They didn't change any of the, you know, the science of the creature or anything like that. So I appreciate that. But like, as we mentioned, the thing I would change is more likable characters. That's what I would like to see.
Yeah, I agree. There was some stuff that was missing. Like Tommy said, it could have been like, you know, a really good, solid movie.
The marketing for it made it. The marketing too made for it, because I kind of remember it made it seem like it was a reboot too. So the marketing kind of, because I think they were trying to be subtle with it, like being a continuation, like leading into it. So they left it kind of ambiguous at first. Obviously, until you saw the movie, then you're like, okay, well, this, you know, obviously leads into the next one. But
Zombie Box Reviews. I agree. The 2011 movie isn't as bad as some people make it out to be. it isn't as good as the original, of course, but it wasn't all that bad, and it had some cool scenes. Absolutely. And yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, we did mention the practical effects. If they had stuck with that original plan, even that would have been like that would have been such a big improvement in my opinion.
Absolutely.
That's why studios need to just stay out of certain things. Like,
yeah,
the studios can't help themselves.
Just let them do what they're there to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Let the talent make the magic.
Yeah. What's more expensive, CGI or practical effects?
They claim it's CGI.
Yeah.
So it's like, why would you spend more money to, like, it's weird because the other stuff, it's mostly like, silicone molds and some machinery, things of that nature, and paint.
So it doesn't make sense that they would prefer to do CGI then, because
a lot of these stupid producers, they think that practical effects looks too cheesy. That's how they come at it, and they're wrong. They're wrong, and they're mentally challenged.
Sometimes it can look cheesy, but
it could,
if done right, it looks great.
That original movie, almost every single scene looked incredible.
Yeah.
Again, it holds up till today, and with HD graphics and all this other shit, or how they, they remastered these movies and stuff, and it's like, no, it's solid.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, because I feel like the CGI in the prequel made it feel like a newer movie. And I don't think I don't think it needed to feel like a newer movie.
No, it didn't. Because it knows what it is. The thing knows what it is. You got to keep that charm. Because like that scene on the helicopter when you first started to see it, it's like that face split was ridiculous. That looked terrible. When I first saw it, I'm like, oh no, did they ruin it? But when his chest opened up, it looked good. Then you had the other scenes in the movie that, like, no, it's like the transformations look pretty good. It's like when they stretch the neck out and you can start to see some weak spots here and there. Like, I mean, you can see it, but it didn't throw me out of the movie. And some scenes looked excellent when that thing's crawling around and it merged with the guy's face. Like, that thing was really disturbing.
Yeah.
But practical would have been a lot better. And again, because like, look at the kennel scene. That kennel scene was like, holy shit. How the hell did they do that? That's some bizarre and crazy stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Animatronics and all of that, like, so well done. And Soul Assassin, the prequel, I wish they had kept it in. And I'm gonna have to check out that. So you said it was ADI. What was it again? The channel ADI. I'm gonna have to check that out. Yeah, I agree, Zombie Box. Yeah, the practical effects were just spot on.
Yeah.
There it is, Studio ADI. Yeah, we'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
I bet you it would be a vast improvement. But yeah, this is such an awesome movie, and they really both are awesome movies. 82 is such a classic. I mean, everybody knows The Thing, and this was an awesome review. I had a lot of fun doing this.
Hell yeah! I got the link.
Tommy and Draven, do you have anything you want to add?
No, I already said what my favorite scene was. That was the belly and the thing with Windows getting his head eaten. Those are my favorite parts of that movie, just because those scenes are just freaking awesome.
Yep.
But yeah.
Awesome. Those were great.
Oh wow, I'm watching some of these practical stuff. It looks pretty good.
Yeah, I dropped it in the private.
Thanks.
Holy crap! Yeah. Some of those look amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, studio heads are just all.
Yeah, and they could have done like this, and then like a mix of like, even if they needed to use CGI, they could have done like a mix of it, like to like tighten things up a little bit here and there.
Yep.
But yeah. Oh, dude, that would have been freaking awesome.
Right. Oh my God. Why did they? It's upsetting. It's just it is upsetting.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah.
It looks like they even filmed some of it with the practicals.
Oh,
they
nice.
should have left it.
And that somebody was saying at like the 11th hour, they were like, yeah, nope, this isn't happening. And then they switched it to CG.
Wow. That's a shame.
Soul Assassin is saying check out Good Bad Flicks channel. He did a thing video too. All right.
Excellent. Good stuff.
Oh, I didn't know this. Christopher Nolan uses mostly practical effects in all of his movies. He only resorts to CGI when it can't be done practically. Cool.
Yeah, if you remember too, like the what was it, the Dark Knight Rises, that whole Batwing thing that he made. They did that was real. They had it like on cranes and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was because they filmed most of it through Chicago, and like he wanted him to sit in the thing and do your acting from it.
That's cool. I like that.
Yep.
Well, I want to thank you guys all for being here and listening to us review these movies. So yeah, we'll go around the horn and let these fine folks tell you where you can find them. Vinny, let's start with you. Tell them what you got going on.
Freezing, holding a stick of dynamite, a couple of them. Yeah, you can find me over on Vinny Art. I got a bunch of books out there, working on some more. Hold on, take this off. Yeah. Here are my books. So yeah, City of Venus, Through the Woods, Shadow of the Kraken, all great stuff in there. City of Venus, you're going to see more of my kind of. That book has a little bit of everything, but it has some major horror elements are in there for sure. You're going to see more of that popping up again, like I said, in issue 2 and further into it, because you'll see more of like those failed experiments and other things that are going on that the kind of the people in the floating city were trying to prolong their lives, and yeah, you'll see their failed experiments all over the place, and pretty crazy. It's not a zombie book people think that it was as soon as they saw it. I kind of did it on purpose like that because I want to give people a lot of twists and turns, but there is a bigger story in there, and you're going to learn more about it soon. Like I said, I'm working on issue 2. It's going to be a bigger book. We're going to be around 50 pages. So that's the goal on that one. But Through the Woods, 100 pages. You could get it right now. Everything ships immediately. It's a hardcover. Shadow of the Kraken. That's around 50-something pages as well. Perfect bound. Just, beautiful format on that one. And, if you love pirate stories and other kind of crazy stuff, I got plenty of good stuff. And everything you see here, the interior artwork is exactly the same. So everything looks like a painted cover. Highest quality, best service. So, and it all ships immediately. Thank you so much, Trina. This was a blast. Thank you, everyone in chat. You guys and girls rock.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, thank you, Vinny, for being here. This is great. And Draven, you go ahead and tell them where to find you.
Yeah, so after here, I'm going to go over to ETEPS for Holy Shit, not Holy Shit News, This Week in Bullshit. No, I was right the first time. Holy Shit News. I always get those two mixed up because they use shit in the title. But anyway, and then after that at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, we'll watch AEW Dynamite. This is the card for tonight. Should be a good time, and thank you for having me. Always a pleasure doing these with you. And watching some movies that I might have seen or haven't seen. It's always a surprise. So
awesome.
And I should be there with Draven and the guys too for the wrestling, as long as the storm doesn't knock out my power.
Nice. Well, it was awesome to have you, Draven. Always a pleasure.
hell yeah.
And Tommy, let him know where to find you and stuff.
It's just a shame that your guinea pig had to be a homicidal maniac like Jack Frost.
Nice. Yeah, I do have a merch store, by the way. Thank you, Soul Assassin.
Yes, Soul Assassin. Yeah, go to ETEP's stream and tell him Trina sent you. That's awesome. I love that.
Do it. Come on, do it.
Yep.
So next week, I think we're gonna do Fright Night. Yes, we'll do the remake, Vinny.
I like the remake.
We can do either. I love them both. I got no problem with either. Either or, both of them. Let's do it.
Are we doing the sequel too? Because there was a sequel
There
as
was
well.
a sequel?
No.
Yeah, Fright Night 2. There's Fright Night 2.
No,
which I've never
hate
seen,
that.
and I really want to see it.
Well, you can watch it.
You can watch it by yourself, hanging upside down.
I don't think I can make next week. I'm not sure what my schedule is for work.
Oh, dang.
But I do like those movies.
Okay.
You know,
don't trust Draven. He thinks Rocky Horror Picture Show is the sequel to
what? No.
He's like, you're wrong.
You're wrong.
Now I'm gonna go talk to my Spanish girl. She's a little down lately.
Oh, Jesus.
All right. Well,
Sorry.
you guys, this was very fun. Thank you all for being here. And yeah, like I said at the beginning of the stream, anybody watching on the replay, thank you as well. I really appreciate your time. It's just awesome to have you all here. And yeah, I hope you guys all have a good night and enjoy the rest of your week as well.
Yeah.